Okay, so here the question. So this is a question related to perceptron, how the perceptron algorithm doing the prediction. So here the question is, there is a feed forward model for artificial neural network. Basically here this is the perceptron. Suppose the weights corresponding to the three inputs. That means in the perceptron you have three inputs and their weights also given, and the activation function of the units is given the step function. So step function I already discussed in the last class. So what is that? Basically if the input value greater than 0 or maybe 3, sometimes threshold value given greater than threshold, if threshold 0.5, that value should be greater than threshold. Here greater than 0. If the summation value, that v value greater than 0, it is going to produce output 1, otherwise 0. So here using this we have to create a neural network structure, and that is we have to create a perceptron, then only we can do the so finally how the perceptron doing the prediction we have to discuss. So according to the question, let's draw the perceptron. So here three inputs are given. Okay, so that means what we are going to do, let's draw the perceptron diagram. So let me write here, I think am I visible? So here you let me do the diagram. Okay, so here the diagram is, this is a perceptron diagram. So three inputs are coming, x1, x2 and x3. Three inputs are here. Three inputs are coming to this area. So one name is x1, one is x2, one is x3. So three inputs are here, and weights also there, w1, w2 and w3 also given. Three inputs weights also given, and here also the output of this, here you have to find the weighted sum, and in the question the weighted sum, that is you see here the input to the step function, the activation function is the v. That means you know that after this neuron here one processing part is there. This is actually, this is inbuilt of here, but we am separating that to understand. So here we have activation function phi theta, phi. Okay, phi takes the input, its name is v. This is meaning v is coming from here and going to the activation function. So v is there. So here this is the v. So that means v is my weighted sum. Okay, you already know that how to calculate v. V is nothing, the weighted sum. Weighted sum meaning w1, x1, you have to multiply weight with the inputs for all inputs. Okay, w2, x2 plus w3, x3. This will be, you have to calculate. You have, for different input you have to multiply with the weights, do the summation, its name is weighted sum. Whatever value is coming, provide to this activation function. The activation function will produce output with condition, if your, this is nothing, this is your y, you can write y. So how you are going to get y? If this value greater than 0, your output is going to be 1, otherwise 0. Okay, so let's do that. So here let's first take pattern 1. So for pattern 1 we see how it is working. So here for pattern 1, okay, so for pattern 1 I am writing pattern p1. So for p1, what are my inputs? x1 equal to 1, let write here ax equal to 1, your x2 is equal to minus 0, and my x3 is equal to, initially it is not there, okay, x3 is equal to, my x3 is equal to also 0. Okay, so x1, x2, x3, these are the things. Okay, so now w1 value is also given, 2, w2 is 4, and w3 equal to 1. Okay, so now what we are going to do, so my v is equal to, I can write w1 x1 plus w2 x2 plus w3 x3. Okay, now we have to write v is equal to w. What is the w value? To w1 x2, what is, and I can write the formula like that, plus w2, what is the w2? W2 equal minus 4, so I can write minus x2 plus w1 1 into x3, right, directly I am writing x3. Okay, so this is the you can this get the formula like that. So this is my v now. Okay, w1 I am writing w1 2 and x1 in 1, x1 is there. So for pattern 1 now replace x1 value. So for pattern P1, so this is the general case. For pattern P1, what is the value of B? So put the value x1 value. You know that for pattern 1 x1 equal to 1. Here also I am written. Okay, 1 0 0. So just put x1 equal to 1, and what is x2? x2 is equal to 0, and what is your x3? x3 also 0. So what is the value here? So if I do the calculation, 2 minus 0 on the, okay, 2. So finally 2. So my V, so for input for pattern P1, the pattern P1, the provided, I have provided inputs, and what is the summation value? 2. Now my V2 here, you see my V2 equal to 2. V2 generate 2. Now you know that here we have to produce the output. So if the V value greater than 0, output equal to 1. So I am writing output equal to 1. So here V value 2 greater than your 0. So its output equal to 1. So for pattern P1, this model predicts output 1. In the same manner, do for pattern P2. For pattern P2, your V is equal to, so what is 2? Okay, now what is x1 for pattern P2? You replace that for pattern P1, x1 equal to 0, x2 equal to your 1, and x3 equal to also 1. This is for pattern P2. No? Okay, so now put here. So x1 equal to 0 minus 4 into your x2. What is x2? x2 equal to 1 plus what is your x3? x3 equal to your also 1. Okay, so if I do the calculation, this is 0 minus 4 plus 1 minus 3. Okay, if you do the calculation, this is 0, this is minus 4 plus 1, so which is going to be minus 3. Okay, so now here V is equal to minus 3. If V is equal to minus 3, then what will happen? Then it is going to produce 0 because the value less than 0. So here I can say my value equal to 0. So this model predict value equal to 0. Okay, I hope you understand. Now let's go to pattern P3. P3, how to find what is the value? So you first change the inputs. x1, what is the x1 for P3? x1 equal to 1. What is x2? x2 equal to 0. What is x3? x3 equal to 1. Okay, so now put the value in this formula. Okay, 2 is the weight 2 into what is x1? x1 is equal to 1 minus 4 into what is x2 for this input case 0 plus what is x3 1. If you do the calculation, you will find 2 minus 2 minus 0 plus 1. So total 3. This is positive, more than 0. So now my model is going to predict 1. So this pattern output equal to 1. In the same manner, if I do P4, what is B? Use this formula. Your 2 into what is the inputs for this pattern? x1 is equal to 1, x2 equal to 1, x3 equal, all are 1. Okay, so 2 into 1 minus 4 into 1 plus 1. So if you do the calculation, 2 minus 4 plus 1, which is equal to minus 1. Okay, minus 1 also less than 0. So this model is going to predict 0. So this is 0. Okay, so in this manner this model is there. We have this is your model Perceptron, and for different pattern it predicts the values. Okay, so simple thing to understand. For now, okay, it's okay if the model is ready, weights is available, weights is given, whatever inputs are coming, your model can predict. Now question is, if you want to create your own Perceptron model, so initially how to know that what are the weights? So for that purpose, remember that we have a Perceptron algorithm. Initially we have to take some random values like 0 or maybe small values. We have to train on the data set, and after a lot of training the weights are adjusted, and finally we will get optimal weights. And after once we get the optimal weights, your model is ready to do the prediction classification like task. Okay, we will see in the next class what is your Perceptron algorithm and how Perceptron algorithm used for solving binary classification tasks like your AND gate logic, OR gate logic, like that a lot of questions you can solve. Okay, thanks, keep watching, and if you have doubts you can write in the comment box, or I will try to solve. Okay, thank you all of you. Thank you.